Hey there, Miro here. Today we have Nathaniel Stinnett with us of the Environmental Voter Project. And you've seen Nathaniel in our interviews, in the email. Many of you have volunteered with the Environmental Voter Project. And so today we wanted to ask him, because 2020 has been a year of constant bad news, and many of us are really anxious to get the year over with, start anew. But there also have been positive and successful and hopeful things that have happened this year. And so Nathaniel, I wanted to ask, can you give us a little highlight reel maybe of Environmental Voter Project's wins, some wonderful things you've done? I know that you got tens of thousands of first-time voters to the polls, which is amazing. And maybe what makes you hopeful heading into 2021?
Yeah, it would be my pleasure. We could all use hope in the environmental movement. The thing that makes me most hopeful, just as an environmentalist, is, in 2016, when we had a presidential election, 2% of the electorate was made up of people who list climate or the environment as their top priority. But in 2020, some of the exit polling says one thing, some of the polls say another thing, but pretty consistently, 6 to 10% of the electorate listed climate or the environment as their top priority.
Top number
That,
one. That's
that
awesome.
is huge, huge growth. Is it enough? No, not even close to being enough. But is it good news? Is it growth? Is it worth taking, maybe an hour or two to pat ourselves on the back? Absolutely. The climate movement and the broader environmental movement is gaining an enormous amount of political strength. And we saw that up and down the ballot with candidates leading on climate in a way that we've never seen before. As far as us at the Environmental Voter Project, we probably ended up making 11 or 12 million voter contacts in 2020. Just a huge, huge
Wow.
volume of work, but also a lot of high quality work. We ran dozens of randomized control trials figuring out what messages work best, turning non-voters into voters. And ultimately, the sort of crown achievement to all of that was heading into the presidential election in 12 states. We were targeting 1.83 million environmentalists who had never voted before. Not once had they cast a ballot. And a third of them, 609,000, not only voted, they voted early. We can already see in voter files that they showed up to vote for the very first time. At the Environmental Voter Project, our job is to make sure they keep on voting in 2021 and 2022. But again, this is legitimately good news. This is legitimately good news that an issue constituency group that usually doesn't show up showed up in enormous numbers. And that gives me an enormous amount of hope.
It makes us feel so proud and so thrilled by your work, and can't be more excited for the future for Environmental Voter Project.
Thanks,
Thank
Nathaniel.
you. Thank
Happy
you.
2021.
Happy 2021 to grow that group of voters even more.
Thank you. You too. It's got to be better than 2020, right?
Nowhere to go but up.